Good day everyone and welcome back to another one of my videos. Now, as you know from my travel vlogs, I'm always traveling quite a fair bit, and it is such a challenge trying to keep my diet in check because not only do I love to fly in the sky, I also love to eat. As you've seen my destination vlogs, with each destination that I go to, I really eat my way through it throughout my entire stay. So when I'm not traveling, in between my travel plans, what do I do? And I do try to keep a strict diet in order to keep my body in check, because number one, I'm not getting any younger. So I go to the gym quite a fair bit to try and keep my posture. I am pushing 50, and the older you get, the more important it is for you to keep your posture in check. So this is kind of like my regular diet when I'm not traveling. So from Mondays to Fridays, I try to eat like what you are seeing here, and I try to cut out a lot of carbs. I'm not saying that I'm cutting out completely, but I try to reduce very drastically the amount of carbs I eat from Monday to Friday, or sometimes even through the weekend. And I allow myself maybe about 2 cheat meals to cover the weekend, and then I am back to this on the normal days. So today what I'll be doing is we're going to be roasting some cauliflowers, how I do it my way, roasted cauliflower, and some healthy minced chicken breasts. Yeah, minced chicken breasts. If you've watched my travel vlog, you know I really hate chicken breast, but if it comes minced like this, I'm fine. Just don't give me sliced, untreated chicken breast. I really hate that. I'm a chicken thigh kind of guy. Yeah, that's the way I roll. Well, let's get cracking then. So let's start with the cauliflower first, because this is going to take a while to roast in the oven. So I've got half a cauliflower. You can use the entire cauliflower if you want. So just break them up into little florets like these, okay, pretty quickly. I sometimes do broccoli as well, but I find that I prefer the taste of cauliflower when it's roasted. I've tried roasting broccoli, so when I do broccoli, I try to be careful because they tend to taste burnt very easily. So I'm quite careful about roasting my broccoli, but yeah, I tend to prefer cauliflower. If you are in Australia, cauliflower is a lot cheaper than broccoli anyway. Yeah, but I've been told because broccoli is green, it contains a lot more chlorophyll, so in terms of health benefits, broccoli has more than cauliflower. All right, just a little bit more. Okay. There are times when I chop up the stems as well, but today we're not going to use the stems. I prefer the flowers because they hold a lot more flavor, and this cauliflower is pretty huge, so I am going to chuck the stem away into the compost bin. We do not waste anything in this house. Nothing goes into the landfill. It either gets recycled or it goes into the compost bin, and I am very fussy about that. My husband isn't, so he normally gets an earful from me. Okay, so now that we've cut up the cauliflower, this is how it looks like. We're gonna flavor it, okay? Because I need flavor, even though I'm on a diet, but I want to make sure there's flavor in there. Oh shit, we ran out of chicken powder. Okay. My secret ingredient into my cauliflower to give it flavor is really chicken powder. So we grab probably a handful and just chuck it in there. And there is also no such thing as too much garlic. So I'll pour a bit of garlic powder in there as well. To give it a bit of a kick, I've got curry powder. And this gives the cauliflower a very nice golden yellow when it's all cooked. So give it a dry toss first. The reason I do a dry toss is because I want to make sure that everything in here is evenly coated. Now this is before I add the grease in there. Hubby loves to, excuse me, excuse me, the curry powder. Oh, excuse me. Well, anyway, so this is leftover grease from frying potatoes. So I normally do not chuck leftover grease away. I keep it in a pot like this so I can flavor my roasting. So I add in about 4 measurements of Chinese soup spoon. Okay, 4 of this goes in there. Now it's important to add the grease after you've done the dry toss so your coating doesn't clump together. Okay, once this is done, you give it another toss. Okay, and it's ready for the oven. So I've got a baking tray here and baking paper. Now this is a hack I learned about baking paper. You know how it doesn't stay in place when you put it in there, it just refuses to stay in place. So what I've learned is you crush it up. Open it back up. And voila, it stays in place. So you chuck all your cauliflower in there, make sure it's evenly distributed. And it goes into the oven at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes. So in it goes. Cauliflower done. Now we're going to prepare the ingredients for the minced chicken. I've got 5 cloves of garlic in here. I try not to use the bottled garlic. I try to use fresh ingredients here because this is what's going to make your dish pop. So there's no such thing as too much garlic in my house. I love garlic like there is no tomorrow. So if you say those words, there's too much garlic, you are not my friend. Okay, chop up the garlic. The minced chicken that we're going to do is, the ingredients are Thai inspired. So we're talking about roughly chopped garlic and coriander. Garlic and coriander forms the basis of a lot of Thai cooking. A lot of Thai stir fries, Thai curries all begin with garlic and coriander. Okay, the chop is done. You do not want the garlic chop to be too fine. Okay, let's set this aside. So for the purpose of this video, I'll only be using about 5 garlic cloves. And this is coriander. I do not use my herbs quick enough, so I have them frozen in my freezer, and then I'll just chop the amount that I want to use. So you roughly chop up the coriander. Again, make sure that your chopping is not too fine. Okay, because I still want a bit of texture after the coriander goes into the chicken. Even though this coriander has been frozen for about a month, but oh my god, the smell of coriander is lovely. So for those of you who do not like coriander, just too bad, because this recipe is not for you. Alright, now we go on to cooking the chicken. Here we are, change of angle. So this is where we're gonna cook the chicken. You need a wok, okay? If you're gonna stir fry anything, you need a wok. And unfortunately, for those of you who have electric stoves, stir fries not gonna work for you. For an Asian household like mine, I need a proper fire and I need a wok. Okay, so this is how we roll here. Choose the largest flame and turn the heat up on high. We're gonna get the wok really hot for this. And let's just grease up. Again, I'm using the leftover grease from the fried potatoes, just to make sure there's flavor in there. Okay, grease up the wok. I had an electric stove in the first house that I was at, and it was just so difficult to do any stir fries, because stir fries just doesn't work with electric stove. You need the wok to be really hot. Okay, so grease up the wok, and let's just wait for the oil in there to get really hot. Okay. You can see that the oil in there is getting a bit hot because there's some smoke rising from it. So in goes the garlic. Garlic first. Don't leave the garlic in there for too long, because it's going to brown very quickly because the oil is very hot. So that's why I'm going to chuck my chicken in immediately. Remove the paper. Okay, in goes the chicken. As you go along, add a bit more oil in there. just to make sure the chicken doesn't stick to the wok. There you go. Nice. I also want to keep moving the chicken around to make sure it doesn't get stuck to the pan. Although it shouldn't, because the oil is very hot. So the chicken should be seared pretty much immediately. Break it up. This is a very easy dish to cook because it's going to be ready within the next few minutes. Make sure the chicken is all broken up. Nice. I did mention that this is going to be a Thai inspired dish. So voila, fish sauce. Now there's a reason also why I mentioned that this wok needs to be really, really hot, because you do not want the chicken to be stewing in there. You don't want this to become a wet dish. So that's why the heat needs to be really, really high, so the chicken can cook almost immediately instead of letting out all its juices and creating this into a stew. That's normally what happens if your fire is too low. As you can see, it took us only, what, 2 minutes? 3 maybe? And the chicken is almost cooked. Well, not almost cooked, it's cooked. So we add in the coriander. This is almost like pad krapao. Pad krapao is very commonly found on the streets of Thailand. And they stir fry this with whatever ingredients that I've shown you today, plus basil and chili. I'm not going to use basil because, for one, I don't have a basil plant in my yard, and I don't have I didn't buy basil from the supermarket as well. So I'm just going to use coriander and garlic. Oh, smells good already. Even just with these basic ingredients, the kitchen already smells like Bangkok. Most important thing is to taste. If you notice, I'm not adding any salt because the fish sauce on its own, it's pretty salty already. To balance that out, I dump a bit of sugar in there. Nice. Let's taste it again. I think it needs a bit more fish sauce. Perfect. We can turn off the fire. Let's add a bit of lemon in there to zing it up. You do not want to add the lemon juice in there while you're cooking because the taste just disappears as it cooks. So just make sure that you do this at the end. Stir it up. Very nice. Okay, let's put this aside and check on our cauliflower to see what's happening in there. So while we were doing the chicken, the cauliflower is actually almost cooked. There you go. It's got a bit of color in there. That means it's done. Color is flavor. Now the important thing is, let's dish it up. Okay. Just look at the cauliflower. Look at the color. It's golden. This is because of the curry powder. And there we have it. My roasted cauliflower and Thai-inspired minced chicken. Let's try the cauliflower. Whatever that I've added in the cauliflower, there's just enough flavor to complement the chicken, because you do not want the flavors of each of these two to overpower each other. Nice. Of course, the main flavor bomb comes from the minced chicken. So this is what I do during the weekday. My diet. See ya.